Well, good morning. You're watching Morning at NTV. Been a big discussion around cancer. And of course, when you said cancer in men, the men might have said, no, especially breast cancer. Some of you didn't even realize that men could be affected. But interesting fact, the doctor who was just on, Dr. Arthur, is actually my doctor. So crazy terms, I'm telling you. But anyways, are you with me, Flavia? And in this part of the show, I'd like to highlight innovations from our very own Ugandans, because sometimes you think of innovations and you think they must be high and large and somewhere else in the world. But NTV over the years has done a good job in highlighting some of these innovations. Let's take a look.
Of Uyuru is at the center of designs and innovation, which if moved into commercial production, could place Uganda at the front of manufacturing of smartphones.
We design the things, we send them to China, the designs we have made. We do technical design, both technical and the normal design, we send them to China. The prototype, they send for us that component, we see if it matches what we gave them, then we confirm that this is going for production, mass production, or this is not going.
Patented as Pixen under the trading name Pixen Corporation, Ofuyuru, together with 15 of his other peers, believe that the requirement for the growing market for smartphones in Uganda can be met.
As we launch in Uganda, we are going to sell it also to the world. So we do testing, like for China we tested because their standards can meet the Far East Asia. And then in Europe, we are tested in Geneva because we feel like from there we can know if our phone can sell in Europe. Then we tested in, of course, in Uganda, we are here, it's working well. And then in America and South America, we haven't done it.
Before you
in the country with this phone invention. They're from Pixen Corporation. We also have Brian Juba, who was highlighted some time back, and his was a welding machine.
Because we are dealing with electricity.
Juba demonstrates how to make the welding machine.
So we have a piece of wood like this. We measure a piece of in our bucket, metal. It has to be steel. We are going to make sure it goes, the whole of it, into the bucket. One pole is for live electricity, and another one is for the torch. Then we can put it in our bucket. We have to fix this such that it doesn't move.
After that, he connects a positively charged electric wire to one of the terminals in the bucket.
Now this negative wire will go to where you are going to weld. Now we'll put in our water.
The welding gun is connected to the second terminal inside the bucket. The power switched on, and the welding machine is ready for use at a cost of only 70,000 shillings. He uses materials picked from all the electronics like capacitors from radios.
Use of capacitors, they act as a storage, and two, they help you to change the AC to DC.
Twine says he has so far spent 60,000 shillings to create the bulb, which is switched on by connecting two wires. The other two wires connected to the power, which lights and charges the bulb at the same time.
When the power goes off, right now, let's say umeme has gone off, it is off now. It will give you light for 2 days, like the way how it is lighting. Then when the power comes again, it will just show you the light changes as the power comes.
That's Brian Njuba there with his welding machine innovation. And lastly, one of those that we actually highlighted was Julius Twine with his bulb invention. Take a look. Yes, as we're highlighting innovations.
Picked from all the electronics like capacitors from radios.
Use of capacitors, they act as a storage, and 2, they help you to change the AC to DC.
Twine says he has so far spent 60,000 shillings to create the bulb, which is switched on by connecting 2 wires. The other 2 wires connected to the power, which lights and charges the bulb at the same time.
When the power goes off right now, let's say umeme has gone off, it is off now. It will give you light for 2 days, like the way how it is lighting. Then when the power comes again, it will just show you the light changes as the power comes.
All right. Anyways, we're highlighting innovations, and this morning, I'm glad to have this young gentleman. I think he'll give us, from his perspective, especially from those who innovate or who do all of these great things, what happens? What's the challenge? What's the success? You know, and I saw that his innovation, or their innovation, he'll tell us it's just more than one person, has actually been winning awards. But what does that really mean? Where's the funding? Where's the point where we come from startup to where we can actually use this? And it's in the cancer awareness. Is saying for breast cancer, this glove apparently can help you detect. We'll find out more about that. He's a developer of breast, is it IT, not it?
Breast IT.
Breast IT, Maurice Atwine. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Flavia.
Yeah.
And to all the viewers. Just like how she's mentioned, my name is Maurice Atwine, and I'm a founding member and team leader at Breast IT.
You were telling me that you are ideally the brains behind the idea, because when I saw on the website, you're actually 3.
Sure,
You're 3.
Yeah,
yes.
we're 3. But so it was more of a personal motivational story. So it was way back in 2014. I lost, I think 2013.
2013.
Yeah, I lost a close relative to breast cancer, and by then we're still studying computer science back at university. And I just talked to my friends. David and Alvin, the other gentlemen on the website.
Oh, okay.
And
yes.
I was trying to share with them how we can actually find a solution to breast cancer. Because if you look at one of the greatest risk factors to getting breast cancer, it is family history.
Yes.
Just maybe to add more on that is nearly most of these women in the world, they have a chance of doubling their chances of getting breast cancer when they have a first degree. That is, I'm talking about a relative as a mother, as a daughter, of getting breast cancer if
it's
one
not
of those
close.
has been diagnosed with breast cancer in their life.
Yeah.
So that comes to just like 15%. So we said, let's get a solution, and we've been doing a lot of research about it. I mean, we've been mentioning about people winning awards. When it comes to awards, the point is, it is just a point of validation to say that, look, I'm working on something great, and I think people are watching, and probably I'll be able to bring it on the market.
So let's just make it clear for those who are watching that your innovation is not on the market. So
Yeah.
people, that glove that's right there on the screen, people are not able to buy it, use it, so it's not in a hospital. Just so that we clear the air for people who are wondering. But while it's on the screen, if we can maybe just quickly go through it, what will it be doing when it eventually comes on the market? It's helping, for me, anyone or the doctor will help me.
That's an interesting question. So we are starting with clinicians, or what you may call health professionals.
Health professionals,
yeah.
okay.
So because we are looking at low resource settings, because let me give you a simple example. If you're coming from a place like I'll try and use Busheni because that's where I come from.
Okay. That will not come for you.
Yeah, and I know it very well.
Yes.
So in any case you want to do a breast cancer screening, trust me, it will be hard for you. The cost involved from moving to let me say, like, from the last mile, moving to where the grade 1 level of a health center, you will not find those services there because they lack a laboratory infrastructure.
Yes.
So you have to move to probably grade 4, which is the district hospital. So when you go to the district hospital, the lines are really too much. Everyone would want to get breast cancer screened. But we should get to understand as well that we do not have most of these mammograms right now, which is being used to screen for breast cancer in most of those places. So you eventually have to come to, for example, Mulago and do a breast cancer screening. So imagine someone coming from, let me say, Gulu to Kampala, and then you have to wait, because everyone, would wait for free services. They do not have that a lot of money to do breast cancer screening. So we still in the process of development, iterating, and trying to see how we can get a market-ready product. as soon as we can, but it is a tedious process.
I hear you. So what will the glove ideally do?
So
help to early detection or any detection?
It will do early detection of breast cancer.
Early detection.
Yeah, so
okay.
it is a glove and a software. So the glove does the glove does the screening of the inner parts of the breast, then gets the images, and then they are sent to the phone. Right. Then that's why the conclusive analysis is done using machine learning.
Okay. So in terms of what you're thinking about when you're developing this, is to say that what we're currently doing today, what we're currently detecting, of course not those who are able to access certain hospitals, the Mwananchi detecting is not enough to tell me if I might have certain cancers or certain lumps.
So one of the something that I know is that blind women have a strong sensitive touch, that when they are trained and they know how to palpate women's breasts, they can actually feel that that lump is actually not normal.
What should be there?
That it is abnormal. But that falls on a couple of conditions. When women are in their menstruation periods,
it changes.
Yeah, they do have those lumps, they do exist. But let me say you're not in your menstrual periods and you have a lump that you feel is abnormal, then it really means that it could lead to something else. So it is better you go for checkup. But I think what we need to understand as well, that there is a lot of the incidence rate is now growing because there is a poor health infrastructure, there is a poor seeking behavior when it comes to health. And what I mean by that is medical checkup. Medical checkup is still expensive in sub-Saharan Africa. You will not convince someone to go and do a medical checkup, a full body checkup, which goes for like 150,000.
Symptoms must persist where we come from.
And there is nothing like awareness. People don't actually know that breast cancer exists. The fact is, when someone has, I'll say like a nipple and it is discharging, they will try and get maybe growth and they just
cover.
Cover. It will go into a month, it will go into years. And by the time you go for breast cancer screening, it will be late. And breast cancer can only be beaten if detected early.
Early detection.
Yeah.
I think that's what we need to really preach, early detection. So how long have you been in this phase of figuring out what to do for us?
Such an interesting question. So we started in 2014. No, I should say 2013, maybe late.
When you lost your family
member.
So
So we are still brainstorming, trying to see what's the best product that we can actually bring on market. We had a lot of ideas till when we just said, okay, I think a glove is now better. But we're still trying to do a lot of validation tests around the glove as well, trying to understand if it is the best product that can fit within the clinical workflow.
Market, yeah.
So we've been here for now, I should say 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
So in 4 years, you obviously convinced your other friends to join you on the team. You were a university student when you started the idea. And I think you were sharing me how at the time there was a innovation hub of sorts. What did Microsoft do?
So there was a Microsoft bootcamp.
Bootcamp, yes. And what were they doing? Just to give you ideas, or you give them ideas?
So that Microsoft bootcamp, I think, is still running. It's called Imagine Cup. Okay. But the whole point is they look for student technologies that are actually coming up, because they know as a student you don't have funding maybe to scale your idea.
Yes.
So they were looking for ideas, and they always hold these national competitions. They try as much as they can to go into different countries. So we said we can try and go into the national competition, the one in Uganda. But by then it didn't actually come through. It was just an online competition, and we are among the 6 online final winners, something of that sort.
Okay.
Yeah, from the entire world.
But at that time, breast IT was just an idea.
It was still an idea.
It was just an idea on paper.
It was.
So how do you come to then, because this is just an image, so you haven't made the actual glove yet.
Yes, so we moved from there, and we had to get most of these, because most of these components are not available in the local market. So, but one of the team members was working at the College of Engineering, Design, Art and Technology. So they always have access to some of these components.
You are very strategic with your team. You have to get someone who knew it.
So yeah, so he tried and got some of these components, and we decided to come up with a glove that we were able to pitch somewhere. So by then there were ASIA awards by UCC that were
Yes.
coming up,
Yeah.
and we managed to be among the winners. So we got some
money.
grant money.
Some money.
Yes, some grant money that really helped us to do some, of course, surveys, need finding surveys to understand the uptake and the perception of our technology in most of these prevalent parts of the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like, and I wouldn't really know much about innovations in the health sector. It must take a lot of research and development over and over and over again. There must be so many phases to go through.
So that is the thing. Because the medical world is really sensitive. You will not bring something to do on market and maybe it does a false recommendation and someone dies.
Yeah.
That is what they try as much as they can to stop. So you have to iterate because you're not the only researcher. There are many researchers,
Yes.
and probably what you're doing has maybe it is not the same what has been done, but it's something that is existing and is being used to screen for maybe whatever disease you're looking for.
Yes.
So you have to first reach what they're doing. Let me say they have an accuracy of 90. So you have to first get past 90%.
Okay.
Let me say sensitivity or specificity. So you before that, let me say now we go to like clinical trials. You're supposed to do four phases of clinical trials.
Whoa.
You're targeting a different number. The first phase.
And you do the clinical trials in Uganda?
It depends on what
What level you want to operate.
or who your target market
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
But you can do them from sub-Saharan Africa, because still in sub-Saharan Africa, like I've said, the incidence rates are now growing. So the four phases, of course, the difference is that at the first phase, the people are really you're targeting few people, but in the coming phases, the people are very many. So you have to look at the different sample size for every stage, and that
Yeah.
requires a lot of funding.
I was about to say it must cost money.
Yeah. So and just about that, you also have to certify your device. So let me say you're going for CE marking, you're going for FDA approvals or WHA approvals. That all requires a lot of money, and the whole process is tedious.
It's tedious.
It doesn't just take 1 year, 2 years. You can even be stored for even 3 years to just get a CE mark.
Is it taking long because of the funding, or it takes long because generally the processes take long?
In our case, I think it's both.
Okay.
So there's funding and the process involved. Because trust me, if you take about 5 years to get funding, just 20,000 $20,000 US dollars. I mean, it's a lot of money that you just waste on doing a
research.
Just doing a single clinical trial. So
Wow.
you
One
just
clinical
one like
trial.
this.
Wow.
And you still need more money to do another phase of clinical trials. So you have
Yeah,
to meet all
yeah.
those processes involved before you go for certification.
Whoa. Yeah. So let me ask about where the government, because I know the government has taken a big stand on innovations. They really are saying that their stand is innovations, that's the way to go, science. What do they do for you, from your perspective? Because from us, we just see government saying they'll do this. But where are they placed in helping you? Who has an idea? Who's tried to work on it? Who's going forward?
So I like how you say
Be
that.
honest. Yes.
So I think they are now taking steps to actually help innovators, because I have watched from NTV, they are building an innovation center, which I have an idea about. But of recent, I think the Ministry of ICT tried and I think it was even at the beginning of this year, where they providing about 12 billion UGX, and they want to help the selected innovators. They are close to, I think, 12 innovators as well, but of course they are getting different sums of money, and they want to help them depending on which stage you are. You might be at ideation, you might be already on market, you might be still prototyping. So they're trying as much as they can, but I think they still have a lot of work to do. To me, I think one of the things they need to do is to try as much as they can and do a lot of research funding, especially at the university level, because there is a lot coming from the university. But when these people get out of university, they tend to change their minds. Because yes, you can come out of university saying, I have to do this innovation, but then you forget that there is a reality on the ground, that you have to meet a lot of bills every day. So what will happen? So what happens is, at the end of it all, you give up. You're like, you know what, I don't think I'll do this for the next 2 years. In any case, you don't get funding, so they give up. So what the government can do is to do a lot of funding towards research on the university level. That's what I think.
Okay,
honestly.
I mean, that's a good recommendation. Just do research. And I think just keeping the ear on the ground to know what is coming out of university, because at the university level, someone can't afford $20,000 just for one clinical trial. But I'm also saying, because I know we're pressed for time, but the question of patents, because I know if the idea is yours, the idea is yours. But in the world we live in, the idea is yours as, if I run faster than you, the idea ceases to be yours. What has happened in that space?
So the idea is only yours when it's patented.
Yes.
It's not yours. It's not
I
yours.
mean, you talk about it,
talk
it's
about
gone.
It's gone.
Yes.
So patenting is a struggle as well, because what you can be able to get at this level is maybe like a utility model for your innovation, but getting like a patent also takes some good time, because I mean, most of the technologies that we are relying on, for example, in our case, are existing technologies. We're just trying to see how we can fuse them together. Yeah. So someone has patented that before. Let me say, for example, using ultrasound. But ultrasound has been patented
already
before. So by the fact that you bring ultrasound into your patent, you're already infringing someone's patent. So there are a lot of claims that we have to capture in doing a patent, when you're doing a patent. But there is always, of course, there's a reason as why these lawyers go to school. Yes. And eventually have
find the loopholes in there. I hear you. Yeah. Maurice Tweede, developer at Breast IT.
Yeah, Breast.
You've been in it for 4 years, which means we might not be, based on what you've shared today, at least we have a clearer picture.
Considerable failures.
Yeah, we're saying that you're not, you might be close to if you get the right funding, and of course after trials and after so many things. And I like your recommendation to government that perhaps just put your mind into research so that you see the ideas that are coming out and where they have gone to. Thank you for your time this morning. From what I hear, this is not the end of this journey, so you're going to be coming back here to update us. We'll call you back in what, 4 years?
I'll let you know.
Thank you so much, Maurice. That's the developer of Breast IT, a glove that could detect early detection of breast cancer. So fingers crossed he gets funding and everything he needs so we can celebrate our Ugandans. But we're already celebrating him anyway. That's it for Morning at NTV. Have a good day.